The Brooklyn Nets suffered a discouraging 125-119 Game 3 loss to the Boston Celtics on the back of a Jayson Tatum 50 ball. In need of a bounce back, the Nets delivered big time thanks to a multitude of adjustments. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. If you have not already subscribed, go ahead and do that below. And today we'll be discussing the Brooklyn Nets 141-126 Game 4 victory over the Boston Celtics. A win that was spurred by a couple of key coverage changes on Jayson Tatum, which Bruce Brown alluded to after the game.
Yeah, we just locked in. We just knew our game plan. We locked into our game plan. We just be more physical. Don't let Tatum get going, force in certain ways, in certain plays that they had drawn up for him. So once we did that, we were good.
So for this video, I'll be focusing on the 4 adjustments I noticed on Tatum during my rewatch. Let's get into it. The first major adjustment was that the Nets were much more thorough, showing Tatum 2 bodies when he posted up, using the sideline and the baseline to their advantage, like Bruce Brown and Kevin Durant do here. Also, check out Blake Griffin fight for position to take away the dump-off pass to Tristan Thompson. Jayson Tatum has nowhere to go but reset. On this Evan Fournier-Jayson Tatum pick and roll, Joe Harris and Bruce Brown switch, and check out Joe Harris front the post with passion. When Tatum receives the entry pass, Blake Griffin leaves his man Tristan Thompson to show Jayson Tatum 2 bodies and trap him on the sidelines. James Harden picks up the slack and tangles with Tristan Thompson down low, while Tyler Johnson zones up or plays within the middle or the gap between the 2 remaining offensive players on the weak side of the floor, Romeo Langford and Marcus Smart. And it's a near turnover as Jayson Tatum is forced to throw up a wild pass. More loading up from the Nets here, as you'll see Blake Griffin let Tristan Thompson run freely into the paint to provide secondary help while Jayson Tatum faces up on the left side of the floor. For those of you that have been watching the Knicks-Hawks series, you may recognize this style of coverage from how the Hawks have defended Julius Randle. James Harden shades Jayson Tatum toward the help in Blake Griffin, pushing him away from the middle of the floor, while Kevin Durant stands at the left elbow in assistance should Tatum somehow drive right. When Tatum gets into his patented left-right step back, Blake Griffin steps up to erase the move, affording James Harden the luxury of playing way close up into Tatum without getting blown by along the baseline. A really nice closeout from Bruce Brown, and it's an air ball from the Celtics. The second adjustment that I noticed was that there was an increased focus on switching back to original matchups for the Nets. In Game 3, when the Celtics ran a pick and roll to engineer the switch, the Nets happily gave Boston the matchup it wanted, which was typically Jayson Tatum facing up against a smaller player. Compare that to Game 4, and the Celtics run a pick and roll here, which produces a switch of Kevin Durant on Peyton Pritchard and Jayson Tatum defended by a smaller guard in Tyler Johnson. Now watch Durant sag back into the paint, knowing his length can aid him on the closeout should Jayson Tatum kick out to Peyton Pritchard for the 3. When Tatum drives into the paint, Durant does a switchback, picking up his original matchup in Tatum and kicking Tyler Johnson out of the matchup and onto Peyton Pritchard. Great timing from Tyler Johnson on his release of Tatum, and a pick and roll defended by Nicholas Claxton and Kevin Durant is exactly what the Nets are looking for. Same idea here, just really good fight from KYRIE Irving to battle for the switchback and not give the Celtics that Blake Griffin on Jayson Tatum matchup they've been torching the Nets with. Switching with physicality was my third key that I noticed in Game 4. From this Game 3 clip, notice how easily the Nets switch Blake Griffin onto Jayson Tatum. There's no physicality, no pushing at all. And Tatum has all the time in the world to load up a step-back 3, which nearly goes in. Compare that last clip to Game 4 in basically the same situation. Again, note the physicality. Kevin Durant basically hands Tatum off to Blake Griffin, who works hard to deny and push Jayson Tatum way off his spot. to the point that Tatum basically catches the ball near the logo with 6 seconds on the shot clock remaining. Great nail or center of the free throw line help from KD, and Tatum tosses up an ugly runner. On this play, the Celtics set up in their Spain or stack pick and roll alignment, with a third player, Jayson Tatum here, ready to set a back screen or a screen that faces the opposite baseline for the roller, which is Tristan Thompson in this clip, while a ball handler, Marcus Smart in this clip, handles up top. Now, to counter, Griffin and James Harden switch this play, but this gives the Celtics the Blake Griffin matchup to pick on when Marcus Smart sets up a second pick and roll with Jayson Tatum. Now, the key to this play and why I'm showing it is the physicality. Notice how Blake Griffin tosses and turns with Tatum to disallow him from facing up at the free throw line, which is a spot Tatum's very comfortable from. When Tatum drives, James Harden steps up as the help to take a potential charge, and Griffin gets the strip.
Who gets your love?
Last but not least, you may have already noticed it, but the Nets kept Kyrie Irving hidden in the corner on Romeo Langford for most of their defensive possessions. For the Celtics, this is the downfall of not having Kemba Walker, but it allowed the Nets' best defenders like Kevin Durant and Bruce Brown to keep the ball up top while Boston ran its offense. With Kemba in the lineup, Kyrie Irving is consistently forced to guard one of Kemba Walker or Marcus Smart, and both are more than capable of running the pick and roll and getting the ball to Jayson Tatum for the mismatch with Irving when the Nets switch. With just one of Smart or Walker in the lineup, the Nets can safely hide Kyrie Irving, and it allows him to focus on things that he's good at, like help defense, which he has been really solid at this year. This is maybe the best example of the night of how much the Nets hid Kyrie. The Celtics run a dribble handoff with Marcus Smart and Evan Fournier, and rather than keeping Irving glued to Evan Fournier, he and Bruce Brown switch to keep Irving stuffed away in the corner. A pick and roll defended by Bruce Brown and Kevin Durant, two of Brooklyn's best defenders, is exactly what the Nets are looking for. And with that, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and go ahead and share this on Twitter and Reddit. If you want more content like this, give me a follow on Twitter. I post all of my work there, and every now and then I post a funny tweet, like one in every 2,000. But anyways, that's all I've got today. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace!